Alright, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakaha Kodash. I like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from, and I like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. Slakia. And today, I'm just pretty much going to go into, like the Elder Monagon down in DC. Pretty much today was going to start, a series called Missile Mondays, It's going to go into, current events about, the nuclear missiles, So that's what I'm going to entitle this lesson, Missile Monday. And this article, from the New York Times. And it says why North Korea's latest nuclear claims are raising alarm. So I'm just going to read a little bit of this article, and then bring out a couple scriptures. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. Slakia. And it says North Korea's new wave of propaganda suggests that it has succeeded in miniaturizing its nuclear warheads and made its missiles easier to launch and harder to intercept. The claims not fully corroborated. The country, Slakia, show the country is on a path that is worrying to its neighbors and to the United States. And as you can see, Kim Jong-un standing next to one of the warheads. And it says, this propaganda photo released by North Korea's state media intends to send a clear message. The North has achieved multiple significant advancements for its nuclear arsenal while the world was looking elsewhere. North Korea says this nuclear warhead is smaller than anything it has produced before. If it is real, it could potentially fit on missiles that could hit South Korea and Japan. The warhead is also portrayed as being able to be mounted on a variety of missiles, as this poster shows, which could give North Korea more production options. And pretty much, as you scroll down, it's showing you, the warheads, it's going into it, and basically how small it is, and what it's going to fit. These are North Korea's missiles, it's like the KN-23, 24, and 25, And it says these short-range ballistic missiles, which the small warhead is designed for, are hallmarks of the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's effort to modernize his missile fleet. In a crucial upgrade, North Korea uses solid fuel instead of liquid fuel to power the missiles, which makes them easier to transport, faster to launch, and harder to intercept. North Korea also claims a smaller warhead would give it new ways to carry out nuclear strikes on a cruise missile or on what is called underwater nuclear drone. As you can see, the illustration behind, the cruise missile and the underwater drone. And it says, for decades, Washington, Seoul, and their allies have tried both negotiations and sanctions to roll back North Korea's nuclear ambitions, Slakia, and prevent technological advances like these. Those efforts failed. The world is now seeing what comes next, a bigger, more dangerous nuclear arsenal that poses a greater threat. Slovakia. A bigger, more dangerous nuclear arsenal that poses a greater threat to the United States and its allies in Northeast Asia. It's unclear whether or not the warheads in the photo were real. North Korea has a track record of showing mock-ups of weapons still under development of the Saki or Slovakia for the sake of propaganda. Still, Mr. Kim has set bold goals for an arms buildup, pouring resources into weapons development. There is no doubt that North Korea, Slovakia. There is no doubt that the North has achieved major upgrades to its arsenal, including solid fuel ballistic missiles that can also make mid-air maneuvers. It is also developing cruise missiles, submarine launch missiles, and underwater drones that it says could be nuclear armed. All these are aimed at making its nuclear attacks more effective. Then it's pretty much, wanted to, a little more just to show, the different weapons that they have, And then again, we're still on the brink of World War III. So for the people that don't believe, that this is gonna take place, you're sadly mistaken, because these missiles are gonna do a lot of damage, Then again, just more photos of the missiles launching. So I'm gonna bring out a couple, bring out scriptures. I'm gonna start in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54 and verse 16, and it says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his works. And I have created the waster to destroy." And yes, that waster is going into these ICBM missiles, that are being developed, because again, this is what's going to be used during World War III, because this particular war isn't going to be like traditional wars, Here's the book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 5, and it says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." And yes, that's how this Third World War is going to be fought, with nuclear missiles, Slovakia. Now, you're still going to have, soldiers that are going to, battle each other, but ultimately, this war is going to be fought with, nuclear capabilities, because, it's inevitable, that a Third World War is going to happen, and it's going to be the wars end all wars, and, this is Slovakia, for the pause, but pretty much, again, these missiles are going to do a number of things. The majority of them are going to hit America, aka Babylon the Great. And various parts of the world are also going to get hit, but ultimately only America is going to be left utterly desolate, Now, yes, those missiles are going to do damage, but they're also going to help cleanse the earth as well, because again, the earth is polluted. under the inhabitation of Esau, Edom. So it's the book of Job, chapter 20 and verse 24, and it says, "He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall, terrors are upon him." And yes, again, that iron weapon, that bow of steel, and that sword, that glittering sword, those are all talking about the nuclear missiles that are going to be used, because all these major countries have them. Because at one point in time, only America had these particular capabilities, during World War II, when they dropped those hydrogen bombs on Japan. But, ultimately, these other nations, they also have, these same capabilities, So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, and verse 13. And it says, "And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men." And yes, again, when he dropped those hydrogen bombs, on Japan, and also, this Esau Edom, his fighter jets that, have missiles and rockets mounted on them. But ultimately, this man's, missiles, because he's causing fire to come down upon the earth, because that's ultimately what those missiles are going to do. Once they're launched, they're going to, be launched into space. They're going to leave the ozone layer, locate their specific targets, and then come back into the atmosphere, and they're going to be traveling extremely fast. They're going to be going so fast that they're going to come back down to the earth on fire. So I'm going to end it on this. And this is the book of Revelation, chapter 9 and verse 16, and it says, "And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire, and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. By these was the third part of men killed, by the fire, and by the smoke, and by the brimstone, which issued out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth, and in their tails. For their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt." And yes, again, that is what's describing, these ICBM missiles, having heads like lions again, just like I described, once those missiles, return to Earth, they're going to be traveling, so fast that they're going to enter back on fire, they're going to come down, back to the Earth on fire, and those tails like serpents is again going into, that rocket system that is propelling, these ICBM missiles, because they're going to leave a trail of smoke as well. And then there's, many other scriptures, that I can bring out, concerning the ICBM missiles, but, those are just the ones that I'm going to bring out for now, so Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, where I learned this truth from. And I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. Till the next time I see you, Shalom.